I'd like to welcome you, and we're going to go over some information. This is a great partnership with the Riverside County Office of Ed, which has secured a grant, and they'll tell you a little bit more about it later. But it's an opportunity that we're very excited about, and I hope that you'll be joining us this spring for some courses to get you intern ready so that you can start an internship next fall. So let's go ahead and go down. First, I'd like to see, are you going to do a survey later, Arlena? I wanted to see if there's any multi-subject individuals.
We will be sending a follow-up email, and we'll be asking questions, I would assume, through the
Okay, so we'll do that later. All right, so I'll go over the single subject, but if you have any questions or multi-subject, please put it in the chat, and we'll get those from there. All right, first, for single subject is for grades 7 through 12, and basically, except for physical education, art, and music, and they're K-12. What you basically have is that you're interested in a specific content area: English, math, music, science. Any of those content areas is what single subject is, and you're going to teach middle school or high school. Of course, the state of California, if you're teaching in a public school, you need a credential. And so the credential process that we have several different processes, but the one you're going to be going through is internship. Internship means that you have to do 3 qualifying courses and then basically secure a job. Go ahead and go to the next slide, please. So let's look to see what some of the details are about the internship program. First, because we have this wonderful partnership with RCOE, they will be coordinating with the districts for you to find a placement for you. And with the internship, the perks of it is that basically you're going to get paid while you're going studying for classes. The coursework that you're going to be doing is going to align with what you're doing in the classroom, and so that basically all the coursework will support everything that you're doing within the field. You will have, far as support, you'll have a university supervisor. That individual comes out to your schools and they observe you teaching actual instruction, and then they sit down with you afterwards and they talk about some areas that you did really well with and maybe some growth areas. You will also have from RCOE, you'll have a mentoring, I believe it's called the seminar program, and basically with that seminar program, Cal State University is actually giving you 2 units that help you with the overload that we actually have in our program. Go ahead and go to the next slide. So as an intern applicant, basically, there's a couple of requirements. First, with your undergrad, we'll verify through your transcripts that you have a U.S. Constitution course. And that's pretty standard, so I don't believe anybody would not have that. Then basically in our program, which you'll be taking in the spring, are 2 courses, 407 and 413 in the spring, and then in the summer, 410. So with these 3 courses, what you're getting is pre-qualified to be an intern. So an intern means that basically after you take these 3 courses, we're going to turn some paperwork into the CTC, and they issue you a license so that you can go into school and you'll actually be the teacher of record for the students that you'll be teaching. Okay. Now the first part is, after you complete these 3, is filling out the application with a secure employment. And that's what RCOE is going to help you with. Next slide, please. We call the intern track D, and it's 33 semester units. You're going to have 2 quarters of classes, that's the 3 classes, and you're going to have 2 quarters of semester classes. So it seems kind of awkward, but this is our Cal State University is transitioning from quarters to semesters. And so basically what we're doing is kind of a hybrid program for you. So Spring and summer will be on quarters, but when you start in the fall with the internship, you'll be on semesters. So a little bit longer. Again, you will be in a public school and you'll be teaching full-time while you're taking courses. Next slide, please. All right, so then the course sequence basically kind of looks like this. So in the spring, which will start April 4th, will be 2 courses, and you'll have secondary education and you'll have literacy across the content. So those are the 2 courses. That will be 8 quarter units. In the summer, we can only get 1 course in due to it's only going to be 6 weeks. So you will be going a couple times a week for, I think, 4 hours is the way the class schedule is. Then in the fall, as you can see, it looks very complicated, but it's only 11 units. The first course is the actual content course, equity and advocacy. Then you have 2 courses that are considered your intern course. You have a seminar and then you have a supervision. That's where the person comes out to see you. Okay, so you don't actually have to come to campus for that one. Then you'll have what's called the TPA seminar and supervision. The teacher performance assessment is a state assessment in which you do 2 cycles. The first cycle is about focus students, 3 focus students in lesson planning. And the second one is about assessment, creating assessments. And the reason we have the 2, you actually have a seminar class that supports you in all the pedagogy and instruction. And then you have a supervision class for TPA, which does a one-on-one coaching to help you pass the TPA, okay? In the spring, it looks a little bit different. We might have one of these courses during intersession, but it hasn't been proved, but you'll have 2 courses. It'd be adolescent and literacy across the content, and then basically methods, your methods course that will kind of dive a little bit deeper within your content. Okay, then again, 2 intern class and 2 TPA classes. And those are built around support, looking at kind of a clinical practice model where you come together and you talk about what's going on, what might be some of your obstacles that you're going through, some classroom management tips, and we'll be working on that. Any questions on that? Okay, we'll go ahead and move on. Arlene, are you going to cover this part?
I'll go ahead and cover this. So,
okay.
So we have 2 different types of students. We have current CSUSB students, and then we have some non-CSUSB students. So there's going to be slight differences on how you should register for this spring. So the 2 courses that Dr. Sombrero referred to, those are the 2 courses you want to register if you can this coming spring, which starts April 6th through June 13th. So you want to register if you're a current CSUSB student. You want to register through your My Coyote Student Center, and you can do that as soon as your window should already be open. We're already there. So, and then of course you continue the same tuition if you're receiving financial aid. That would continue all the same. If you are you're not a CSUSB student or are not currently enrolled, then you will have to register through Open University. And so you would click, and we are going to send this PowerPoint presentation to you after today's session. And so you'll have the links there so you can refer to registration for Open University. There will be fees to pay, of course, and you have to pay these fees on the day that you register. So typically you register the first day of class. So you can refer to that link for dates and how soon that will start. But again, April 6th is as soon as these classes will start this coming spring. So that would allow you to register for 2 courses. So you're not going through regular admissions. This is all through what we call Open University. Then for our summer, again, continues the same for our CSUSB students. They would register through their My Coyote. I believe their appointments or the window opens about April 24th. I think you should be able to see that on your student center. But any questions on that, feel free to contact us. And for those non-CSUSB students, again, you're registering through Open University. and paying the first day of classes, or the first day you register for class. And the summer is from June 22nd till July 28th. So that's the 6th week. So it's to apply for the fall. So what will happen is this would allow you to register for those courses, those 3 courses, what we call pre-service courses for the internship track, allow you to register for courses in the spring and in the summer. But we're also going to ask that you apply through Cal State Apply for the fall to continue formally in the program in the fall of 2020. So you'll do this through Cal State Apply. When you start this application, you'll see 4 quadrants: personal information, academic history, and supporting information. Program material is where most of the work is, it's going to take you more work to complete this 4th quadrant, because this is where all your program requirements will be uploaded. Academic history, it may ask for GPA. If you don't know your GPA, you can go ahead and just opt not to do that. Or if listing any courses, you can opt not to do that. So it's not going to affect your application at all. So Cal State Apply, there's a $70 application fee. We are asking that you upload unofficial transcripts to Cal State Apply. And so any university or community college that you might have attended, we ask that you upload unofficial. And if you are a current CSUSB student, then this would not apply to you. So what you could do is just on a Word document, state that you're a current CSUSB grad or a student, and haven't taken any classes after graduating. And then you can just upload that Word document onto this application so that the application is complete in terms of these sections that have these asterisks on them that have to be completed. If your degree was completed in another country, then the TOEFL exam may be required, and that's something we would ask the Office of Graduate Studies. So between the College of Education and the Office of Graduate Studies, we will be communicating with you via email. At the time that you start the application on Cal State Apply, we'll have access to the email that you provide. And as soon as you submit that application, we will be using what they call your Coyote email. So you want to make sure you set that up. And if you're a current student, you would continue with the same email. So the Office of Graduate Studies is grad admissions. If you have any questions regarding GPA calculations or anything like that, Grad Studies will take care of that. Your program material, again, referring to that 4th quadrant, the advising form is also a requirement. This is your advising form. So this is your advising session, I should say. And so we will email that advising form to you, and you would just upload this advising form. It's a PDF that you would upload under other. When you look at Cal State Apply, this will make sense. But if anything, we will help you with this application. Transcripts, we refer to the unofficial that you want to upload onto Cal State Apply, but you'll have to provide official to the College of Education. And so the official transcripts have to be either electronically sent to Amy Thomas, who's our admissions technician, or you could have them mailed. And you should have all received an email before this session. I hope I sent it out about 2 o'clock with a flyer attached to it that has the address. So if you need that, again, we'll send that out to everyone. And Sheila, feel free to interject if I'm missing anything as well. Okay, so, again, so for official transcripts, this only applies to non-CSUSB grads. So this only, if you graduated, let's say from UCR, went to RCC, then you would provide RCC and UCR unofficial transcripts, scan them and upload them onto Cal State. But you would provide official transcripts from both RCC and UCR to the College of Education electronically or mailed. Mail will take a little longer right now, so electronic would be probably the fastest way to go. There's 2 areas that are very important that you meet, especially for an internship track. You must meet basic skills. So this is going to be the CBEST for most students. But there are other ways that you can meet basic skills. And so basic skills is your reading, writing, and math. You want to register. I know right now it's a little difficult to register. Hopefully you all have it or have scheduled to take it soon. But this is going to be a requirement for an internship. So this is going to be definitely required before you can accept a contract. And so CBEST, or taking a CSU placement test if you are a CSU grad here from CSUSB or any other CSU. and you took the English, the early placement, or so, I'm sorry, it's called the EAP, and you got college ready or exempt in both math and English, you can use those tests. Or if you did the EPT or the ELM, and you would be familiar with these tests if you're a CSU grad or will be a grad, or SATs, ACTs, or AP. If you scored high in both your math and English in these tests, then we can use those as well. Or if you did a basic skills exam from another state that will be equivalent, we can always check to see what states would be equivalent. So again, any questions on that, just let us know. And then subject matter competency, most students will take CSET. CSET in the content area that you're interested in teaching. So again, if it's math, you can do something that's unique with math and science. Of course, math allows you to do subtests 1 and 2 and allow you to do the foundational math credential. The science allows you to do subtest 1 and do the general science. But if you want to do a specialized science like chemistry, physics, geoscience, or life science, and Dr. Sombrero, you can feel free to interject if I'm missing anything here too. And then, but all the other CSETs, you have to have complete CSETs passed. The CSET is good for 10 years. So that means you have to complete your credential within that 10 years. The other option is if you graduated or earned a degree from a program that had an approved subject matter waiver. Here at Cal State San Bernardino, we have art education. English would be the English ETPP program, the English teacher preparation, or the math teaching track. Physical education would be the pedagogy track, and then Spanish, there's a teaching track for Spanish as well. So that would allow you to meet competency and not have to take the CSET. So again, if that's the case, then you're only left with having to meet basic skills. CSET or competency would already be met through your degree. Okay, so then we have certificate of clearance or any permit that authorizes you to teach in a public school in California. So that could be a 30-day sub-permit or a permit that's been given to you, or a CTE credential that's been issued by CTC. You can use that as proof of your clearance. If you've never done a certificate of clearance, then we would ask that you do a live scan first and then apply for the clearance. And I'll send you forms attached to the email that will help you do that. The the certificate of clearance is good for 5 years. If you recently had one done, that's good for 5. Verification of a negative TB, this is good for 4 years. We do not accept the risk assessment questionnaire, so you do have to have skin or chest x-ray. 2 completed online recommendations. You'll see online recommendations that look similar to this online. So nothing, you don't give any physical forms or letters, you don't have to do that. It's basically online where you provide the first and last name of the recommender, the email, and then a due date. And we would recommend give them a due date, an earlier date that you're trying to meet. Also give them a heads up that you're sending this request through, because they'll receive it by email through Cal State Apply. It's an actual form they fill out, so they don't have to write a letter. You'll see the status of your request. We will actually receive the recommendation. So you need at least 2. You can go up to 4 on the system, but 2 have to respond by the deadline date that you're trying to meet. GPA 2.67, that's your cumulative GPA, or last 90 in your or in the last 90 a 2.75 for the credential. And of course, once you're in the program, maintain a 3.0 GPA. So here's an overview of our admissions process. Everything is through Cal State Apply. You upload your unofficial transcripts, your program material, you upload all the program material that we just covered quickly right now. Official transcripts must be sent to the office of, or the Student Services office, or again, electronically at this point. Admissions interview is also scheduled as soon as we confirm that your application is complete and done correctly. You'll receive an email from Amy Thomas, who's our admissions tech, to schedule an interview with our program faculty. At this point, I think it's Dr. Sombrero. I'm not sure if there's anyone else. And then a decision's made after that. Then you're invited to attend orientation. You pick the school district. At this point, this is where RCOE would come in, of course, your program plan, and then you register for classes as soon as your window opens. So here are the deadlines for the fall of 2020. You would have to have this application with testing done by July 13. So that's, that's the tricky part right now. So this is by July 13 to have both CSET or competency met and your basic skills. When we look at the actual tuition fees, when you go through Open University for those non-CSUSB and CSUSB candidates, at least for the summer, if you financially doesn't cover this, you're looking at about $260 to $290 per unit. So, it depends, if you're doing, if some of it's going to be taken as a CSUSB student, then of course those fees would be slightly different. So this will vary from student to student. And then there's mandatory campus charges. So again, we can look specifically, if you have questions on this, and then I can meet with you and look specifically at what we're looking at in terms of Open University and the fees. We currently only have the quarter tuition costs. So I will say for the quarter system, there's 3 quarters in an academic year. Credential students typically pay about $2,600 a quarter. So that's roughly about $7,800 an academic school year. So you're looking at the semesters very similar at about $8,000 for 2 semesters. That's what you're looking at. And then Dr. Sambra's information there. So we'll be sending this out. And then you have my information as well as Sheila's information. I think I'm right there for 30 minutes. So I guess I can take any questions if you have anything pertaining to this, the 5 minutes, if any, go ahead.
I have a question. So if I'm going to graduate in the coming spring, after the spring, would I go through the Cal State Apply system after that for the summer and then the spring and the fall and spring semesters? I'm sorry.
Okay, so you're a current CSUSB student?
Yeah.
Yes. Do you have any room in your schedule to add courses, the credential courses?
The 2 that you listed, yeah, I can. Because I completed my major, I'm just taking units, so I can move whatever around. But my concern is, once the spring quarter ends, then I'll be maxed out. I won't be able to take as a current student. So would I go through the system?
You would go through Open University for that 1 class in the summer.
Mhm.
Yes.
Okay. Thank you.
What's your major?
Psychology.
Psychology. Where were you interested in teaching?
Well, I actually wanted to teach special ed.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Arlena, do you have a question via chat as well?
Okay. Can you ask the question, Sheila?
This person is from Martin, who wants to know, is there an opportunity for him, meaning the internship, if he's already in the multiple subject credentialing program through the integrated track?
The internship is not an option for our integrated track students. It's only for our general track multiple subject candidates.
Thank you.
Mm-hmm. Okay. So we, again, will ask more questions. If you have any questions, we'll have some time after, but I'll hand this over to Dr. Sullivan. And so I'm gonna stop. Let me stop here. Let me stop sharing here.
Okay, hello everyone. Again, I'm Dr. Sullivan, and I'm here to provide you with information regarding the Men of Color Teacher Pipeline Program. And so again, thank you to Cal State San Bernardino for partnering with us. And also online with us, we have Dr. Brown, Dr. Charles Brown, and Dr. Ursula Strada-Reveles, the Director and Executive Director of the School of Education for Riverside County Office of Ed. So we want to thank them for the opportunity to actually provide, the space and time for the program. And so just to kind of go over a little bit with you briefly what Riverside County, what's going on with Riverside County and how we began this journey. Started off kind of a few years back with the Blueprint for Action, and briefly just talks about some of the things that are happening in our community with our African American students, and having only 32% of those students meet the standards in ELA, and only 19% meeting mathematics standards years ago. And so now the data, we're currently updating the data, but the data kind of still stays the same. And so we wanted to start off with that, the Blueprint for Action, just finding ways to assist our African American students as they move forward in our society. So one of the things that we proposed for Riverside County was to recruit men of color in the teaching profession. And so one of the things that we did was we had an opportunity to do some research that shows that if the students have one man of color in the earlier grades, specifically the research shows that as one Black African American male or female teachers of color, students perform better in school overall. And so we put together a proposal to recruit and retain men of color in education over a 4-year period. And that's why we invited you all here today to provide you with information on this particular program. And so I'll get to what we're offering in just a moment. But what we're looking at is trying to retain, to recruit and retain 200 men over the course of a 4-year period so that we can impact the lives of approximately 610,000 students over a 10-year period. So that's our plan, and that's why you are here. This is what we're planning to do. We are planning to subsidize, our plan is to subsidize the cost for the teacher preparation program. And as Cal State mentioned, for this first quarter, you will definitely have to provide the tuition costs. And moving forward, once accepted into the Cal State program and moving forward past your prerequisites, that's when we're looking at subsidizing the cost for teachers that are accepted into the Men of Color program. And so we are recruiting from a non-traditional route, which is grabbing interested men and men that are interested in going into the teaching profession. Our plan is to provide you all with ongoing mentor support and to design professional development that is designed specifically for you. The research does show that offering more support to men in order to help navigate the system and just guide them in that just-in-time support ensures that they have these tools that they need in order to stay teaching throughout their profession throughout their career. And so we also are working with districts, as they mentioned, as Cal State mentioned, we are partnering with 4 different districts to place men. And so after finishing your prerequisites, our goal is to ensure that there's a placement for you. And so that's something that we're working on currently. The basic requirements for the program is very similar to Cal State. We need you to have a bachelor's degree, a Bachelor of Arts or a Bachelor of Science degree already completed. The CBEST test and the CSET test must be taken. It's a little bit different from Cal State because at Cal State, I think that you can go into the prerequisites with in the process of taking your CBEST and your CSET, and then it has to be complete by July. However, with us, in order for us to actually accept you into the Male Teacher of Color program, you have to have those tests completed. And so by the time that Cal State has given you. And so
that's just.
Elisa, can you hear me?
Yes, I can.
Hi, everyone. I just wanted to let you know that we recognize that this is an investment on your part. If you were to enroll in the program and you pass the CBEST and the CSET, there's an opportunity to be reimbursed for that, and we would have you employed in the fall in one of the 4 districts.
Yes, and realize also that it normally is a requirement for Cal State, but because of the pandemic, we have to lift that. Otherwise, we would not get you in and others in for the fall because the testing centers aren't being open at the current time.
Okay. Okay, and so thank you for that, ladies. And so prospective candidates, this is what we're asking you to have taken and passed. And at this point, as you heard the ladies say, that we are being a little bit more flexible because of the pandemic. However, in order to be placed into a classroom, you actually do have to have both of those tests taken. So, so as far as once school starts, if you've already finished with your prerequisites for Cal State, we would not be able to place you unless those tests are taken and passed. And then part of the other additional requirements is to being enrolled and completing the designated program. So the program that you select, you would have to be enrolled and completed both of those, completed that credential program. And so basically, just to kind of give you an idea that we have 2 different routes for RCOE. We're talking about the Cal State route right now, which is teachers that are looking to go into single subject or multiple subject regular general ed program are the only route we have for you all is the Cal State route. However, for teachers that are interested in special ed, you would have an option to either going the Cal State route, or you can also go the Riverside County route. Riverside County Office of Education does also have a special education program.
I'm sorry, Talisa, to correct you, but that is, it's not an optional route. It's the RCOE route for the special ed.
Thank you. Okay, yes, so first, thank you very
Yeah,
much
because
for that, for
Cal State
clarifying.
also has a special ed and so does Riverside, so we took that off the plate.
Oh, got it. Thank you very much, ladies, for that. So again, you have the, for the general ed folks, you guys are gonna go the Cal State route, and for the special ed individuals, you all will go the Riverside County route. So thank you very much for that clarification. The other requirement for our men of color are to adhere to the credential programs and requirements, participating in the mentorship in the university route, the RCOE route, as well as for the men of color route, and then maintain employment with the district of placement for a minimum of 5 years. So we're asking for a commitment. Once we place you and we're helping you with that tuition assistance, we're asking you to remain in that district and at that site, preferably for a minimum of 5 years. What we are committed, RCOE is committed to make every effort to place teachers at designated school sites, contribute to the cost of tuition of the specified credential program. Again, that is for general ed, you'd be going the Cal State route, and for special ed, you'd be going the Riverside County route. And then we are planning to provide you with the additional support and mentorship, and offering additional professional learning. The commitments from the candidates, we're asking that you complete the credential program, and after your program is over, what we'd be asking for you to do is to complete the induction clear program after all of that is over. The other thing is, again, participating in mandatory mentorship, adhere to credential program requirements, and then maintain employment with the district placement for 5 years. So those are the commitments that we're asking from you all. So the timeline, we're in it now. We're in the timeline now, and this is the recruitment phase where we're in the process of recruiting you all. There'll be a screening process. Again, you heard from Cal State how they will have you go through the open university and screen candidates. And then we'll work together collaboratively with our team to do teacher placement. Then we'll do teacher mentor matching. We will have ongoing professional learning throughout the year. And then we will have some network opportunities for you all to network with other men of color and teachers so that you are constantly developing as a professional. So we are here, we're close to the end. There is a flyer. I will put in the chat box a link to the Riverside County Office of Ed School of Education page, so that you're going to be welcome to download this flyer and pass it on to your colleague friends that are interested in teaching as well. You can see that there's an interest form for those of you that did not fill out the interest form for the men of color. Then you can go to the bit.ly or the QR code at the bottom and fill out that form, and that will provide us in Riverside County with your information, so that once we're ready to contact you after you've gotten in, we have your contact information. Here is a contact information. I'm the program administrator, and so I'll be overseeing the program, again, with Dr. Brown and Dr. Ursula Ruela Estrada, that will be overseeing the process with me as well. So if you have any questions, you're welcome to contact me at Riverside County Office of Ed. My email address is displayed, as well as the phone number that you can email at this point, because right now we don't have the access to the phone at this moment. But once school starts back and we resume, you'll be able to email me or contact me by phone if you have any questions. And so now we can open it.
Talisa, I couldn't see your screen, but I'm guessing they can. Is that right?
Is everybody able to see my screen?
Yes.
Okay. Yes.
Yeah, I can see it.
Okay, wonderful.
Any questions? Do we have any questions? I'm going to stop sharing now. Any questions about the Men of Color program?
Yes. Yeah, I do have a question. Can you hear me?
Yes, I can. And can you
okay.
identify, if you guys have questions, if you can identify yourself so that we can hear your names and address you by name, that'd be great.
Okay, no problem. My name is Daniel Jones. I'm from Riverside. And my question is, I have the CBES passed already. Is there a scenario where I can get the CSET in and I would be placed at a site in the fall?
So that's the plan. If you, once you have the CSET taken and you're accepted into the Cal State program, or after applying for either program, if you're going the special ed route, then you're going to apply for the Riverside County credential. But if you're going the Cal State route, once you're accepted into the program, you've already been doing the coursework. The plan is to have men placed that have already finished the CBES and the CSET test.
One thing, I think what you're asking, Daniel, is that the testing centers are closed. And right now they're pushing the CSET out until even registering in July. Is that correct?
Yes, I actually haven't seen the actual dates. I was on the website yesterday and I didn't see when the dates are going to be set.
Yeah, right now they don't have dates because they're not sure they're going to reopen. They state right now it's mid-April that they're going to repost some dates. That is why our chancellor has the CSET waiver, but we cannot waive internships. So thus, once you enter in August for the internship, that's when the fall semester starts, we have to have that CSET in order for you to be on a school campus. There is no other way around that. So I'm hoping they do open them up, you know, by the end of April, and you're able to at least, the way we have it is you have to be signed up and taken it before you step foot on a school site. So it might be delayed a little bit.
Okay, I'm sorry, and I missed the very beginning of the meeting. You're saying have it passed or have taken it? She said that it.
You have to pass it. So you have
Right.
to pass
Okay.
it. Okay.
Okay. Thank you.
Any other questions regarding either program or the Men of Color, Male Teacher of Color program?
I have one question was, what are the 4 districts you have contracted with?
So currently we're contracted with, Dr. Ravelas, do you want to give that information or?
Sure, absolutely, yes. We have a contract with Moreno Valley Unified School District, Riverside Unified School District, Marietta Valley Unified School District, and the Palm Springs Unified School District.
There's another question. I have transferred to CSUSB in the fall. Do I still qualify this program? So Jordan, can you clarify, you transferred fall of 19 or you're going to transfer fall 20? Jordan, are you still here?
Says he's going to transfer in the fall of 2020.
As long as you meet the all the criteria that we mentioned, yes.
So has he already finished his bachelor's degree?
I'm assuming you're finishing in the summer is what you're talking about? Let me have a chat with Jordan. Go ahead and go ahead.
Okay, any other questions?
So if you're finishing in,
I have a question.
Okay, go ahead, Ricardo.
Hi, yeah. So I go to Azusa Pacific.
Mm-hmm.
I'll be finishing up in May with my bachelor's, and my degree is a subject matter waiver. So I'll have my CSET waive and my CBES will be waived too by my SAT scores. So what will be my timeline? Like, do I apply after I get that all after I graduate, or would it be, can I apply now? Or, cause I know I can't take the summer. I couldn't take the spring classes in April because I wouldn't be technically graduated yet.
So Ricardo, you would be probably coming in on the senior program, correct?
Okay.
You're still undergrad, correct?
Yeah.
Okay, so you'd be coming in the end of the senior program, but that may qualify you if we continue the program to come in at a different time. So that's going to be a little bit different because in order to be an intern, you have to have a completed bachelor's.
Okay.
Okay.
Yeah, I have one question.
Okay, go ahead.
Thank you. Name's Bill Venegas. So I've completed all my requirements, all my classes for my bachelor's degree in the last quarter. But I don't walk and do commencement until June for CSUSB, and I'm a current student right now. And my degree's in the social science area. I want to be a history teacher. So how does that affect my chances of getting into the program and be able to participate in it? Would I be able to still do it in the springtime, or would I have to wait till summer or fall?
Do you have room in your schedule to take two additional courses?
Yeah, I don't have to take any classes this coming up quarter. I'm complete. I've been conversing with my vice dean, Dr. Thomas Long of our department, and he's been helping me through this. And I have no classes to take, so I was thinking if I could take courses, 2 courses for next coming up quarter, because I have nothing at all. I'm complete.
Yes, we could get you coming in on it with a couple of courses. Arlena, do you know anything how he would still file for graduation and take those?
So did you already do a grad check for this coming?
Yes, I already did it. I did 2 actually this past quarter. I did one at the beginning as required, and I did one towards the end to ensure that I've completed all my courses and I was cleared as a completed student.
So you're complete at the end of June or at this past?
I'm currently completed.
Complete. So so technically you're not a student come spring.
Yeah, because I wouldn't be required to take courses anymore. I would have completed the degree. Yes.
Okay. So, I'm not even sure if you can extend it. If you could, then great. You could add it come back in the spring. If not, then you would have to go through Open University to register for those courses.
Okay. Yeah, I'll probably ask a question later about that, or I'll be able to probably come in contact with Dr. Long and see if he also can help provide information for it.
Yeah.
He's quite helping me out. One last question. Sorry about that.
Sure.
For the internship, I currently coach football at the high school down the street from CSUSB at Cajon High School. Is there any internship opportunities that extend up to that area in the San Bernardino district, or is it just mainly in certain districts that you exist in?
It is with the 4 districts that I mentioned. We currently don't have anything going in San Bernardino.
Okay.
But, if you were to work, let's say, for example, in Moreno Valley, you could technically drive there if you still wanted to coach there, or you could potentially look at coaching at one of Moval's high schools or one of Riverside Unified High Schools would be the option.
Yeah, no problem. I just want to be able to do both. It's both of my
Awesome.
paths.
Awesome. That's what we want. That's why we want you. You can come and you can teach and you can connect with those students. And that's what we want for the students in Riverside County.
Awesome. That sounds great. Thank you so much for answering my questions.
You bet.
Excuse me, everyone. I have a question. My name is Michael Johnson. I'm currently here in Tokyo, but usually I'd be based in Murrieta, California. My question is there 2 different applications that I would have to fill out in order to be enrolled in both CSUSB and the Internship for the Male Teacher of Color Pipeline program?
No.
No, you're filling out your application. If you're not doing special ed, if you're doing a single subject or a multiple subject credential, you're basically applying through Cal State San Bernardino, and then we're securing the job for you. So, for example, in Murrieta is one of the 4 districts we're working with, and we could help you get a job in Murrieta while you're earning your credential. And we would also be paying for your for your coursework in the credential program.
Okay, so how much of the coursework would you cover?
Once you have passed the CBET and the CSET, then we're covering up to everything except a third, and that last third would come in the tail end so that you're sustained, you know, you have your income and all that good stuff.
Okay. Thank you very much.
You're welcome.
Any other questions regarding the Men of Color program or the Cal State program?
Hello?
Bill, you still have your hand up. Do you still have another question? Oh, okay.
No,
Go
sorry.
ahead, Louis.
Hi. So if I understand correctly, I have the CBES done. I have my bachelor's. I graduated last spring. So I would have to go through Open University, right?
That's right. You would go through Open University to register for those classes in spring and summer.
Okay. And then so if I understand correctly, the latest that I would be able to take the CSET would be in July, or am I just not able to do it because I don't have that now?
As soon as the testing centers open up, unless they get an alternative way to do the CSAT, we're kind of relying on them. We don't have a definite answer for that. You're not the only one in this boat. A lot of people were signed up for the CSAT and testing centers were closed. And so now they're getting kicked back to other dates. They just have not set those dates at this time. So what I would suggest, you go ahead and go through all the admission process, you do all the applications and everything, and let us worry about, you know, if the testing centers don't open, okay?
Okay. And so would you be able to answer so the latest would be July? Like, let's say, like, you know, earlier, like the earliest you can do it, you do it, right? If it opens, right? That's the best case. But the latest to have it done would be July.
No, it'd be in August. Do you have that date, Arlena? Do you know the exact date?
It's August 16th is what the last I saw on CTC's website.
Okay. But obviously, yeah, you would want to have that like immediately.
Right.
Okay. Also, are these classes that are happening, are they going to be online? Are they going to be in person? If we do keep the quarantine in place?
They will be online as of right now. And we had them originally, both of them on Saturday, but because you don't want to do online for that amount of time, we have one on Friday night and one on Saturday.
I think that's it for now. Thank you.
Mm-hmm.
So I have another question, Dr. Sombera. So we will be able to complete the coursework completely online. Did I hear that correct?
Right now, we're not doing face-to-face sessions. So right now it is online. If we get back to face-to-face, then you'll be face-to-face. But for right now, it has to be online.
Thank you very much.
Mm-hmm.
So I see a question in the chat from Miguel. If we have not, I don't know if we've already answered this, but he says he currently has a substitute credential. He's taken the CSET 1, but has not taken the CSET 2 for math. Would he be able to do the program, or would he have to pass the CSET 2 before the fall?
Go ahead, Arlena.
Okay, so I just wanted to say you would have to have both subtests 1 and 2 to do at least a foundational math credential by fall. So I hope that answered your question. So I understand that you've taken subtest 1, but haven't taken 2. You need 1 and 2, or 1, 2, and 3 to do a full math.
But 1 and 2 for foundational, and that would be junior high.
Any other questions?
Yes, I have a question. So is it known if this opportunity, this internship opportunity, will be available in 2021? I'm currently a senior at Cal State. I'm anticipated to graduate in December. It will be my bachelor's, and I know that's later than the timelines being described here. So would the opportunity be available in 2021? Is it something I can look into?
Absolutely, absolutely. It will be available for the next 4 years. This being our first year, we're hoping to recruit 30 and place those in those 4 districts. Next year, we'll be recruiting an additional 75, and then the following year, an additional 75 for 2 consecutive years, which will give us a grand total of 200. So this will be an open and available opportunity for any man of color between now and 4 years from now.
And that would actually, is this Cameron? They would actually be the perfect timing, because then in the spring you could take your courses, the 3 courses, if you wanted. You wouldn't even have to go summer, the 3 courses to be intern ready in the spring for the next fall.
And also, Cameron, you can go ahead and I believe that Cal State confirmed this, that you guys can take the CSET and the CBEST test. Definitely take the CBEST test ahead of time. So if you have all those requirements done, then by the time you're ready, you'll be prepared to go into the pre-intern program, as well as then starting your coursework without having to worry about passing CSET. So as soon as you have an opportunity, get those tests going, so that way that's one requirement you have down.
Thank you. I appreciate that.
And Cameron, have you passed your CSET? I mean, CBEST?
No, never. I've never
Okay.
even taken it before.
Okay, then hit up the math department. There's tons of flyers. There's some opportunities. You can even get that paid for.
Okay.
Look around in the math. So there's like oodles of flyers. If not, talk to the department chair, okay?
Okay, I appreciate that. Thank you.
We have one saying he's struggling with the CBEST in math. Can anybody point him in a direction that can give him some help in that?
So something I'm working on right now is to try to see if we can put together some tutorials. So I'm working on some things at the county office, one of the professional development things. The program is just starting, so as we're starting that, I'm working on getting some assistance at the county office. But until then, I'll connect with the individual and point him in the direction of someone that can kind of get him started before we get our program off the ground.
And we'll also be sending some links too that students can take advantage of, that other UCs or CSUs offer some free resources as well.
And I have a question also. So Becky mentioned to one of the students just now that there's some flyers for the math. Was that for something only for Cal State students, or can the individuals that are going to plan to participate in the Men of Color program benefit from the free programs you have at Cal State?
So we do have a few resources for our math science candidates. And so we will definitely share the information I think there is reimbursement for all of our CSET costs that students may have to spend. There's reimbursement for both the math and science CSETs once they pass them, of course. So
I think it's just for CSUSB students, all right, correct?
My understanding is it was open, at least for the science. It was open, not sure for the math. Right. With Dr. Yin, they were willing to cover. But of course, they would have to do the program at Cal State San Bernardino.
Okay.
Yeah, they'd have to go through this with Riverside. So that sounds like, yes, it would be covered.
And they would get that information in the methods, the content methods course. So that's where that reimbursement would happen. It's once they're in the program.
Okay, that's perfect.
Yeah, I did have another question.
Okay, go ahead with your question.
Yes, as far as, I apologize again, I think I missed the very beginning, but if you can briefly explain the internship program briefly, and also, are we talking about Riverside County Office of Education as far as special ed? Is the CSET waived when you're going that route?
For the special ed route in Riverside County, you still have to take all the requirements are still the same. The difference with the special ed would be the prerequisite courses. You still will have to take prerequisites, They will just be different from the ones that are taken over at Cal State. So you're either entering into the Cal State program, that is the general education program, or you will be entering into the Riverside County program that is for special ed only. So both programs have prerequisites, and both programs require that you take the CBEST and the CSET test.
Yes, and that's a state requirement. To be an intern, it's expected that you would be more ready than your typical candidate, and the way that they gauge that is that you've passed the CBEST and the CSET.
Okay, great. I do have the CBEST, as I said earlier, and also, so we're talking about a paid internship.
Yes. So Cal State went through the program, the intern program a little bit earlier, and I know they're going to send the links out. But if they want to, they can go over a few of the requirements again. We may not hold everyone, but we could probably talk with you to kind of sum it up a little bit once we allow for all other questions, and then we can go over it with you a little bit afterwards, if that's okay.
Oh, that's no problem at all. Thank you very much.
You're welcome. So you can hang out, and then we'll talk with you. We'll talk with you after we've gotten other questions.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
I have another question for Mrs. Arlene Alinde. My question is, those links as far as resources are for the science and math help, where would one be able to find them?
We'll send a follow-up email after today's meeting, so you'll receive that from Sheila Braggs, and they'll have the links there with resources for both CSET and CBEST. And then, like I said, for any information regarding reimbursement for your CSET, any costs that you spend, for the CSET exams, that you'll get more information once you're in the program, and it's typically done in that maths or science methods course.
Okay, thank you very much.
You're welcome. And I should also say, you can also apply for financial aid. Once we remove it come fall, you should be applying for financial aid. Students can receive federal and state grants as well. So if it can also help, cover the other costs, students can receive aid. And we have also what they call the TEACH grant that can award you up to $4,000 each year for up to 2 years. So we'll just have to see. I don't think it should have any conflict, I would imagine, with the help that you're receiving from RCOE. There is a commitment to also teach 4 years in a low-income school in the first 8 years, or I should say within the first 8 years of earning your credential.
Okay.
Yes,
There's
and
other
there's
help out there as well.
absolutely.
So what you call that, the TEACH camp?
The TEACH grant.
TEACH grant. Okay, thank you very much.
Yeah, and there's also another, it's called the Golden State. It's a new grant that we just received information as well. So we will be sharing, as we get information, we'll be sharing that with all of you as well.
Okay, nice.
So all of you that are registered, this is Sheila Braggs. I will be sending a follow-up email, and it will include much of the information that, if not all, that Arlena is referring to. However, when you get the email, if you have further questions, feel free to let me know.
Bill, you have your hand up again?
Yeah,
Oh.
sorry about that. I want to ask, I spoke to this with Dr. Long before, and I forgot who I spoke with at the education. I emailed her, but I forgot the name of the person I spoke to. My GPA is not the greatest of all worlds and everything, and then I wanted to ask, I did speak to someone from the education department. They said they take students that sometimes they don't have because I'm only 0.01, barely not making that 2.6 average. So what would happen if that was to occur, if I wasn't able to come close to the requirement of the GPA status to get into the credential program?
So, Dr. Zambra?
Yeah. We'll look at your last 90 days too, of your GPA. So we would evaluate your transcript to meet minimum. We have specific minimums that we have to have for the university. So that's how we would do it, looking at your transcripts, okay?
Thank you.
So I think Adam has a question, if we haven't already answered it. Are there any prerequisites for multiple subject credential other than CBEST and CSET? He said he completed his BA degree at CSUSB.
Yes, there are. Depends, Adam, if you're a liberal studies major, then you would have met those prerequisites. Otherwise, then there are a total of 2 prerequisites and what we call 2 pre-co-requisites. We would just have to confirm through transcripts if you've met the equivalent courses or those courses. But I know it's English 311, which is a linguistics course. There's a child development. Psych 350 it's a course working with special needs children, as well as a health education course. So if you can email me directly, maybe we should include our contact information sheet on that as well, so I can specifically go over those pre and co-requisites for the multiple subject credential.
Yes, please, if at all possible, I'd like to see that as well, because I wasn't aware that there was other prerequisites outside of the CBEST and CSET for that. And my degree is similar to another candidate that I heard speak. It's in, my master's is in counseling psychology, but my bachelor's is in psych and soc. So I'm not sure if.
And what credential are you going for?
I would like to do the multiple subject credential at this specific point in time. Otherwise, I'd probably do a single subject credential in math or science.
Okay.
So for now, I know at least for this coming fall to be intern eligible, it's only for a single. So then we're probably looking to start a little later or start on prerequisites in the fall for the following year. So we'd have to look and see how that would work for the RCOE intern option. So,
and you also have the option, if you go ahead and do single subject and then want to get a multi-subject on top of that, it's fairly easy to do.
Okay, so you suggest thinking about going the single subject route first and then adding on the okay.
Mm-hmm.
Especially you're talking about math and science, 2 areas that we really need teachers in. You would probably get picked up right away.
Okay, definitely.
Yeah, and I also want to say that there's no prerequisites for single subject, right? So you can go in through single, and then as soon as you earn a single subject credential, to add a multiple subject would be, taking CSET and multiple subject, the RECA exam, and then 2 courses. So it's 2 courses, 2 tests, and you have not only your single, but you have the multiple subject credential as well.
Thank you.
Any other questions?
I have a question. Is there such a thing as a low-income school in the Murrieta School District?
That's a great question. I don't believe that there is a Title I school, but this isn't just for low-income schools. We're engaging in what's called a demographic match. And so we want to measure the impact of that on various students, which is why Murrieta was selected.
Right, definitely, because I'm well aware of the fact that they are lacking diversity in their
Yes, and they're actually a very, very progressive district.
Yes.
They just, they believe that you all aren't out there, and we're gonna show them that that's definitely not the case.
Yes, they already know my name, so.
That's wonderful.
Yeah. Thank you very much.
You're welcome.
Pertaining to the single subject credential, said there are no prerequisites for a single subject?
Correct.
And that's beyond the CBEST and CSET. So you still have to take the CBEST and the CSET.
Right.
But there's no prerequisite courses like the multi-subject.
Okay, so for single subject, you would not have to enroll in April.
Yes, you still do. Everybody has to enroll. So in order to do the open enrollment, you'd sign up for the spring. You'd do open enrollment for spring and summer, but you also have to get that application in for the deadline July 13th.
And those are pre-service classes, right? For the intern program? Pre-service?
Right.
Those are the, yes, those are the pre-service. And then we'll transfer those in. I'm able to transfer those in when we bring you into the program.
So there aren't any prerequisites for the single subject program, but there are pre-service courses in order to be an intern for single subject.
To be an intern, yes. Well, they normally would do those within the program, but we're doing special apply with this group so they can take them. It'd be like the senior program.
Oh, okay. Thank you. The pre-service courses for the intern.
Mm-hmm.
Ship, that is. Thank you.
Correct.
I have another question.
Go ahead, Luis.
Go ahead.
Okay, so if I graduated and I'm going through the open enrollment, open university, am I understanding that I'm gonna have to pay for the spring classes myself, and then in the future there would be the possibility of getting financial aid?
So you will, yeah. So unfortunately for open university, there's only, unless you're doing like personal loans or anything like that, but you don't receive financial aid through open university. And so you will be eligible to receive aid once you are fully admitted with no condition into the credential program.
In addition to that, RCOE will reimburse you for the program cost when you pass the CBEST and the CSET.
Okay, so at that point, that would be sometime in the future, hopefully. But so let me, just so I understand, and maybe other people get some clarity on it. Let's say I sign up, I pay, everything's good. The CSET doesn't open at the time that it needs to open. Would we get kicked out of the program, or would that just be set on hold, or what would be the would you guys allow us, because it wasn't a problem that happened because of us?
It's not the university or RCOE. It's a CTC requirement. They issue you your intern license. So we have to follow their guidelines. The only ways those would be lifted, because they're in law, is if the governor would put an order out that, yes, that was lifted. Otherwise, even the CTC and the commission does not have control over it. So basically, that is what we're running up against. We'd like to give you all the answers, but truthfully, I don't think any of us have them until we get some clarity. I think the commission is having voting on it in April. Hopefully it will be on there, but we're not even sure. We haven't seen the agenda yet.
So just to clarify, maybe Dr. Samura, this is a question for you, but I'm asking if a student were not to pass the CSET, is there any way that they could take other courses and go the teaching route, that they're not completely, don't have any time to either retake the exam come fall and then continue on student teaching if they're not able to continue with an internship?
Yes, we could still have you in courses and still continue with the program. And then it would free you up not to take courses while you're doing your internship. Okay. So there is a backup plan. It just, we can't predict everything right now, but we're hoping, because you still would have a full load, even without being able to be an intern, you could still have a full load in the fall.
Okay. So you would still suggest to go for it, right?
Yes, I really would.
Okay. Thank you.
Fill out the application, and like I said, let us deal with the CSET. Just keep checking, sign up as soon as they get that open. I think they're going to open it up soon, so at least you can start signing up. And if they need to cancel again, they will. Like I said, they definitely will not be open until mid-April, so you're looking probably, try to be one of the first ones to sign up to do your CSET. If you can sign up now, even whatever there is, do that now.
Thank you.
Any other questions? Any further questions? Okay. You guys have all had some amazing questions, really great questions. Again, Arlena and Dr. Sombrera and myself will be available for you all if you have any questions. We're gonna send out our information. A lot of you all have our information already because we either send out an email or we will send it all through the email once we do the follow-up. We appreciate all of your questions. We appreciate all of you. We need you in the field of education. We are prepared to support you as you go into the teaching field. We are looking forward to what you're going to bring to each and every campus that you will step on.
And this is actually a very exciting time. We're looking forward and would love, you know, this partnership to be able to go forward. And you're going to be our leaders, next leaders out there. So we're counting on you, and we'll guide you, support you all the way through it. Just get those, start getting the application in, and Arlena and Sheila's there. And then once you start the application, you'll have Amy Thomas to also support you. And again, my phone number and email is on the website too. Contact us anytime.
And I'm also
Sheila, this is Charles Brown. Could you include Talisa, Ursula, and myself in that email that you send out to the candidates so we'll be abreast of that information as well? Thank you.
Yes, I sure will. I'm sorry. I forgot I was muted still.
Ursula, any final words?
I did put a link in the chat for all of those of you that want to access the website for the School of Education, which will give you access to the link to the flyer. Again, as Dr. Reveles mentioned, the program will be going on for the next 4 years, and so we will be recruiting actively.
Okay, Arlena, you want to wrap us up?
Okay, so again, thank you all for joining us. We will follow up with an email. So if you have any questions, feel free to contact any one of us. You'll have Sheila and myself for any information regarding admissions to the credential program or university, open university, anything regarding that, feel free to reach out. We will be available for about an hour on Friday at noon to 1 via Zoom. So we'll send you the link for that. So if just jot down any questions you might have that come up as you receive that email with a little more information and links, and we will try to clarify anything that we might have not covered today. So thank you all. Enjoy the rest of your evening.
And for those of you guys that are, sorry, for the special ed individuals, I'll be in touch. For anyone who's interested in special ed, I'll get all of that information and I'll be in touch with you.
And Mrs. Alinde, you said Friday for an hour?
Yeah, from noon to 1.
Noon to 1, okay.
Yep.
Well, thank you.
And we'll send you the link.
Yes. All right, you guys
be safe out there.
Yes. Bye.
Bye-bye.
Thank you guys.
Thank you.